is the consistent.
James Tabor, in his book, Restoring Abrahamic Faith, in a side note, breaks down the meaning of Hebrew. The word Hebrew literally means one who crossed over, presumably referring to those as Abraham who had lived beyond the river Euphrates. That is in Babylon. It can then be understood allegorically as referring to one who had departed Babylon, the quintessential expression of civilization in the ancient world, setting out into an uncharted future led by faith in God. The concept transcends geography and is an apt way to describe those who leave behind the traditions of their dominant cultures and set out to find those ancient paths spoken of by Jeremiah. As I reflect on that, it's pretty deep if you think about it. For most people, faith is something that you inherit, that you do because your family, your friends, and everyone in your culture follows that. And you don't think any deeper than that. The idea that God could be calling you to something else is hardly ever considered. And if it's even considered or thought about, it's usually turned down because the price to pay for going against your society and the societal norms is much too great for most people. See, that's why when I see a young lady or an older lady embrace Islam and put on the hijab, and they're from the West, and that's not normal for them, that's a real expression of faith. You know, when I left the Christian ministry, I left the church and I had to sit down and speak to the elders of my church and explain that I was reverting back to Islam. And that took a lot of faith. That took a lot of belief in Almighty God, that everything was going to work out, even when it didn't seem like everything was going to work out. So no matter what this Babylonian system, this world system we live in the so-called advanced West, says about Islam, says about our decision, says about our faith, says about our praying 5 times a day, fasting Ramadan, wearing hijab, going on Hajj, giving zakat, we know we're upon the path of Abraham, peace be upon him.